Tonight, we have a very special pre-game ceremony honoring longtime MCA public address announcer and sports information director, Phil Gergen, who passed away this spring. Fans, at this time, we would like to direct your attention to the scoreboard end zone, where members of the Gergen family are assembled and will join the school district and the Red Tornado Supper Club in honoring Mr. Gergen and his lifelong dedication to Mount Carmel area. At this time, we would like to acknowledge some of the achievements of this legendary tornado. A 1950 graduate, Phil spent 21 years in the United States Navy, retiring as a lieutenant commander. He then returned to Mount Carmel area, teaching democracy for 21 years and serving as an assistant principal for 5 years. Phil began announcing for the Red Tornadoes football team in 1975, and over the next 40 seasons would become the voice of the Red Tornadoes. In 1987, he was named Sports Information Director and created professional-grade media packets distributed to countless print, radio, and TV personnel. He has also served as an officer with the Red Tornado Supper Club since 1993. Gergen collaborated in producing 3 MCA football guides in 1997, 2000, and 2008, which contained every game played by the Red Tornadoes since 1893. Through countless hours of research and verification, Phil is one of the major reasons Mount Carmel area's all-time win total is recognizable in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania and the nation. In 2003, Phil began working on a milestone project to preserve all football game film on DVD for future generations to enjoy. His continued commitment and devotion to Mount Carmel area earned him induction into the NROS chapter of the Pennsylvania Sports Hall of Fame in 2006. Joining us this evening to pay tribute to Phil's dedication, support, and love to not only the Red Tornado football program, but all MCA sports are the following Gergen family members. Mr. Gergen's son and daughter, Robert Gergen and Susan Mortensen. Phil's grandchildren, Annalise Gergen and Danielle Mortensen. And his wife Elaine, accompanied by her son, David Jepko. At this time, family members will dedicate a banner in Phil's memory, which will be displayed for the rest of the 2016 season and eventually be placed at the press box, a spot where Phil spent so many Friday nights announcing his beloved Tornadoes.
Good evening and welcome to Mount Carmel Area High School Red Tornado. Tonight, Game 3 from the steamy, and I mean steamy, Silver Bowl in Mount Carmel area. The Mount Carmel area Red Tornadoes, 1-1 on the season, play host to their neighbors, the Southern Columbia area Tigers, 2-0 on the season in their annual grudge match that always promises something as the game wears on. It's a special night in Mount Carmel. We honored Phil Gergen before the game, and so rightly so. It is a banner, and you will see the banner. You may have seen it already. I don't know when the sequence of this goes in, but the banner underneath the scoreboard commemorating the time he spent at Mount Carmel area and all he's done for athletics here at Mount Carmel area. And it was a really nice ceremony his family was in, and it was great to be part of that. The Red Tornadoes, in his honor, will be wearing a helmet sticker for the remainder of the season. I'm sure he loves that. I guarantee it, knowing him as well as I did, he definitely loves that. But that out of the way, the other moment in time here will be the coin toss at midfield shortly. And the ceremonial coin toss tonight is, of course, our very own Jose Gonzalo, commemorating the 600th game, which occurred last week, his 600th consecutive game attended. He's going to go out there and throw the coin. See, if it was me, I'd just throw it, but he's going to, I don't know, he's going to flip it or whatever. But again, congratulations to him. We're going to talk to him a little bit at halftime about that and some of the reasons for it and how he managed to keep it so long and some close calls that I'm sure he had sooner or later. But
I don't know how he did it.
But right now, our focus will be, of course, on the game. This is the only game where the Mount Carmel area Red Tornadoes play a team their own size, a AA school. The only AA school on the entire schedule, and it's Southern Columbia. So unlike any other team this year, should both of these teams head for the playoffs, they could meet each other again. But it's the only time that'll happen this year. We won't see anybody else in the playoffs. The Red Tornadoes taking a pretty good wearing last week up at Shikellamy. The Braves got off to a very quick start, if you remember. It was 21-0 in the first 5 minutes of the game, and it never got any better, ending up 35-0. The Southern Columbia Tigers last week gave a whipping to Bloomsburg, and in the first game they defeated Shamokin area. So they came in 2-0, as I said. So it'll be interesting. The key to this tonight, more than anything else, is Southern is a team that graduated 26 seniors, which is almost unheard of. And yet they were able to reload, although, and it'll be interesting to watch them tonight, much like Mount Carmel area, a very young team, very few seniors. Mount Carmel only has 6 seniors on its entire, of course, the entire squad's only 35.
I think one's hurt.
Yeah, so it'll be interesting as this is a very young squad on both sides of the ball, and that usually leads to any number of things that can happen in a football game, Wayne.
Well, when you take a look on paper, everybody's about the same class playing. There's a lot of freshmen, a lot of sophomores and juniors playing on both of these teams. But both teams come in with some experience and great athletic ability on both sides. Now, if you read the paper today, of course, Coach Roth says that he questioning the size of his line against the larger Mount Carmel line. This line, I have to say, is probably one of the largest lines I've seen in a number of years coming out of Mount Carmel. Both teams at this point need to flex their muscles a little bit, and I think Mount Carmel more than anything. After the first week, coming off that great win from Loyalsock, I think the lack of maturity, the young age of this team sort of showed a little bit that they didn't come down enough to play Shikellamy the way they should have. There were a few plays when you take a look at the films where we had lined up in the wrong position, and that they took advantage of that. That's where they had their 70-yard run, their 56-yard run. Coach
Dara made a great comment last night about that game and any game this year. He said, when you're so young, what happens is that, in any given year, any given game, you have one guy making a mistake. He said, last week you had 3 or 4 guys on the same play make the same mistake, going in the wrong hole, wrong defense, not lined up where they should be. And again, that's youth and the fact that they treated last week a little bit too easy. I think they read their press clipping. So it'll be interesting to see how they react tonight against a powerful Southern team. Now, Southern is a sophomore quarterback, and you think about it, we've had sophomore quarterbacks since the start of the year. All of them very good. This one's also good. Stone Hollenbach, number 15. Hollenbach. Now, he a little different than what Nick Becker was last year in that he's more of a pocket passer. He can run, but he doesn't run on purpose. He's more of a pocket guy. He wants to throw the ball. So it'll be interesting to see how that turns out against the Red Tornadoes and their backfield. Now, he has some great receivers. He has, of course, the running backs, Hunter Thomas, Gage Garcia. You have Cameron Young, number 1, out there as a wide receiver. And you also have a guy you really want to watch, a sophomore, number 4, Julian Fleming. He's somebody everybody's talking about. We had not seen him last year. And so he'll be something to watch also. So there's a lot of weapons on this team, as young as they are. Coin toss out there. I want to take a moment here. You see Jose standing out there during the ceremonial. And again, such a great thing for Jose. Nobody cares more about this program than he does, that's for sure. That's a guarantee. The Red Tornadoes will receive to open the game, so I'm guessing they lost the toss. That's what usually happens. So, they won the toss, okay. And they're going to receive, which is unusual. So it'll be interesting as the game wears on here. The Red Tornadoes are relatively healthy. No starters are out for this game, and I believe while Hunter Thomas was dinged up earlier in the week, apparently he's good enough to play tonight, so we'll see him, I think, at full speed from what I can gather. So a big night here at the stadium. I want to welcome everyone out there on the internet again. Welcome to the game. We'll bring you all the action tonight. I'll set the stage for you. As I said earlier, it is extremely warm night tonight for this part of September. It was near 90 today, very humid.
Oh, yes.
There's been no rain. The field is in perfect condition. Heck, it hasn't rained in a couple weeks now after raining probably every day for a while. It hasn't rained for a while, so the field conditions are perfect. It's a beautiful night. No rain expected till the end of the game and then some, so it should be a weather night for everybody except for the heat. And the heat will take its toll in the second half, usually with cramps. And that's where you'll see it because no matter how hard you hydrate, you can't hydrate enough.
We've been fortunate. I think Johnny Ayers might have been the only person with cramps in it.
Well, I cramped up the first two games, though. I was referring to me on that one.
And I was only walking up the bleachers.
Mm-hmm. I've hydrated as much as I can, but I just don't think it's working anymore. Well, first of all, everything that I drank, I sweated out. So, all right, kicking off, Elijah Hoffman, number 19 for the goes down to Tanny, number 21, about the 12-yard line. Tanny comes up field, still moving, and Tanny brought down in a nice tackle down there by number 18, it looks like, Justin Dirk. Or 28, Cal Halliday. So it's 1st and 10 Red Tornadoes. They'll start off on offense here tonight. And the problem with the Red Tornadoes this season so far is they've started extremely slow.
Yes.
And that's what Coach Darrah wants to avoid tonight,
especially
is that lackadaisical attitude in the beginning of the game. Number 31 in the backfield is Arkowski. We told you last week that this will be the week we'd see him the most. He's back full time now. Ayers goes back to pass. He looks downfield, and he found his receiver. And I don't know if they're going to call that incomplete or.
Yep, that was Tanny.
Yeah, it's incomplete. He had it and just couldn't hold on to it, so it'll be 2nd and 10.
Covered by number 2, Wilk, that time. Nice pass by Ayers, right on the money.
You see the replay, just lifting it out of his hand. So you see the Red Tornadoes, and I'm always interested in this from last year to this year. At each play, they all read their list, their playlist. Zarkowski on the carry, and he'll pick up a couple of yards on the play. That's about it.
Sure, gets off the bottom there.
28 got off the bottom. Halliday once again on the stop.
Halliday's in a linebacker position for Southern.
Give him a yard on the play. It'll be 3rd down and the 9. Ayers looks to pass. He looks and he finds his man, and that is going to be Tanny. He's right along the first down line.
He's going to be close.
He stopped down there by Thomas Manley, 34.
Great slant in, and they give him the first down on that one. Nice slant by Tanny that time.
1st and 10 Red Tornadoes. The ball up at the 47-yard line of the the 37-yard line of the Red Tornadoes. Tanny goes in motion now, and there's going to be a penalty against the Red Tornadoes. And this has been another source of contention for the Red Tornadoes are the penalties. So now it'll be 1st and 15 instead of 1st and 10. Again, Ayers a lone guy in the backfield. Tanny goes in motion. Now he stands right next to him, and it's going to be Ayers on a keeper. And Ayers will pick up just a couple of yards on the play.
28, I think.
Halliday and I think it's 30 Halliday down there. Coxwell, the other guy on the stop. Jeff Cox, number 30. So it's going to bring up a 2nd and long. It's a 2nd and about
13
or so.
There's
Again,
Tanny
just
again.
too high for
Here.
Tanny
Yep.
that time. Same play, it was wide open, but the ball was too high. Now, the Red Tornadoes,
One thing-
interesting enough, they come out tonight, Wayne, in more of a spread set than we've
Yes.
seen them in the first 2 games.
Well, what I did notice, though, when you look at the defense for Southern, they usually run a 4-4 against us. They always have. Now they're running a 5-2, and the 2 split people out to this side are a man-to-man.
Mm-hmm.
So they have some room to run here.
3rd and 13. Here's he rolls it out. He looks downfield, and he's got his man, but just too far, out of bounds. He was trying to hit number 3, Reichert, well covered by number 1 down there, Cameron Young. And the Red Tornadoes are in a punt situation. McDonald goes in to punt. Young and number 4, Fleming. And both of these guys are major threats to take the ball
Yep.
back. So the Red Tornadoes got to have good punt coverage.
Young is a senior, 5'9", 145.
Reichert goes in motion, as he does on every punt. I said I never quite get that, but he does. McDonald lets it go. It's a line drive punt right at the 36-yard line taken by Young. And Young will be bottled up right around the 36.
Reichert makes a stop. Clokus in there. Chapman, number 44.
So it'll be 1st and 10 from the 36 for the Tigers. Their first offensive series, and Hollenbach comes out into the huddle. Fetterman is the fullback directly behind Hollenbach on this. Thomas goes in motion, and Thomas is going to get the ball, and Thomas takes a nice stutter step. And once again, on the first offensive series,
Yep.
the other team scores on the Red Tornadoes. Hunter Thomas, the senior, 5'11", 210 pounds on the first offensive play. He did a stutter step, they had him cornered, and he got loose and scores the touchdown.
Right through the left side of the defensive line that time.
So 6-0 now with the kick to come, and that's going to be Hoffman, number 19. He's kicking out of the hold of 1, Young. Has it up, and it is good. It's 7-0 Tigers at the 9:45 mark of the first quarter, and this is exactly what Coach Dara hoped to avoid, but could not. And again, he should not have scored.
No.
When they look at the film, they're going to want to kick themselves that they had him probably in the backfield, and they couldn't wrap him up and couldn't take him down.
And again, you see the speed after he broke through the line. There was nobody that even had an angle on him.
So the Red Tornadoes find themselves in a hole again. They've been behind in 3 consecutive games now. But when you're playing a good team, getting behind isn't the way to do it.
You can't do it.
So Tanny and Reichert are down deep, waiting for Hoffman to tee it up. And is that the guy closest to me? Is that 1 or is that 3, Wayne? Can you see it?
Where?
That's 1. That's for the Red Tornadoes. That's Karicki. So they took Reichert out of there and put Karicki in for this. It's going to go down to Tanny right at the 10-yard line. Tanny comes upfield, stays on his feet, still juking around. He's going to go down right along the 25-yard line where it'll be 1st and 10. Red Tornadoes, they'll put it at the 26. Red Tornadoes back on offense now, trailing 7-0. Number 4 in the lineup, Logan Wills for the Red Tornadoes now. Not sure he's going to line up. He's going to line up with a tight end actually where he goes on this. He's a freshman. And it's going to be Zarkowski, and Zarkowski running tough, and Zarkowski up over to 30, out to about the 31. Number 54 on the stop, Gosminski.
And 34 that time also, Manley.
So it picks up 5. It's 2nd and 5. Zarkowski, the lone back again. Brings Tanny in motion. He shifts it to Tanny, and Tanny fumbled the ball, and it's going to be recovered by Tanny. But just a bad pitch. Tanny couldn't hold on to it, and I don't blame Tanny on that one. And the ball back now at the 22-yard line, and nothing again goes right for the Red Tornadoes. Here you see the pitch, and you can see there was no way he was going to hold on to it.
He's lucky he got the recovery.
Reichert goes in and place of Wills. Ayers rolls out. He looks downfield, and he has Tanny again, and Tanny's still on his feet. Tanny's still on his feet, and Tanny breaks loose, and Tanny out to midfield.
Nice run by Tanny after he caught the ball.
Halliday on the stop, but a lot of play.
Nice.
You see the replay.
Nice play by Ayers, too. He comes up out of the pocket, and he didn't overthrow it. He just laid it out there for Tanny to run underneath.
All right, so the first down of the night for the Red Tornadoes. And they're going to have this is an example of how hot it is, people. They're doing hydration breaks. And there's also a man down by the 20-yard line. There's a Southern Columbia guy down. It looks like it's number 7, Bendis. But as soon as they called it the injury timeout, both refs ran to the sideline and yelled water to get water into the group. So it's a very big emphasis the last few years is to keep everybody hydrated. So Bendis gets up and he's walking off under his own power. A little bit of a hitch in his giddy up, but looks like he'll be okay.
8:15 left in the first quarter.
And you see the ref, if you were paying attention, the ref was right in the middle of the Mount Carmel huddle, making sure everyone took a drink of water.
Yep.
So 1st and 10, ball right at midfield now for the Red Tornadoes. Zarkowski goes in motion.
Ayers.
It's a keeper by Ayers, and Ayers bulls his way down for about 8 yards on the play. He's 2nd and 2. Getting off the very bottom down there is 73 Shankweller.
Yep.
Weiler.
79 Harrison Reese, who's playing the right tackle position, led that all the way down for Ayers. Hard 8 yards picked up.
Zarkowski in the backfield. And he gives it to Zarkowski. Fakes it to Zarkowski, drops straight back. And he has his man. That's going to be
Sheppy.
Couldn't hold on to it. He was trying to hit Sherrock down there right along the 5-yard line. He was covered by Wilk.
What a nice pass nice fake up on the Mount Carmel side offensively. It held the linebackers. And I'll tell you what, Sheptock right in his fingers. Great pass by Ayers. Sherrock.
Yeah. Sherrock had about a 5-inch height advantage on Wilk. So it's 3rd down and 2 now, and Ayers will keep it. Ayers will pick up the first down. He stopped down there by number 52. And I do not have a 52 on my thing, so I don't know how that is, but 52 on the stop. Zarkowski, the ball carrier.
To the
he tries to aim outside. He makes a nice move. And
I'll tell
Wilk
you,
was hanging on for dear life there and finally brought him down.
One block that time on number 52 again. And Zarkowski would have made the corner. As it was, he still picked up 5 yards.
Yeah, it's about 5 on the play, so it'll be 2nd and 5 now. The ball just inside the 34-yard line of the Tigers. There's equipment timeout on the field down there. Halliday has a helmet problem. He got it fixed, so they're ready to go. This is a straight keeper by Ayers. There's a penalty flag. Ayers will go down to the 30-yard line. He'll be 2 yards short of the first down, but the penalty flag will be.
Some great blocking by the offensive line on the right side for the Tornadoes. But all for naught. That's coming back. Right at the line of scrimmage.
So holding call. And penalties continue to haunt the Red Tornadoes.
Yep. That'll come back to where, about the 45.
Yeah. Put it down right at the 44. But it's second down now, and now it's second down instead of 2. It's second down and 16 actually. It's more than 15 there. Second and 16.
Tanny to the outside.
Tanny makes a nice cut, and Tanny's still on his feet down to the 35-yard line. Stopped again by Wilk.
Nice block by McCracken that time, number 47, leading up through the hole and kicked the linebacker to the outside. It gave Tanny a little bit more room to pick up 5 yards.
No, he picked up more than 5.
Well, but I mean from that point.
From the point, yeah. So it's third down and about 6 for the Red Tornadoes now. The ball just inside the 35-yard line. Ayers on a keeper. Ayers still on his feet. And Ayers picks up the first down and then some. Stop made down there by number 34, Manley, for the Tigers. But a first down for the Red Tornadoes, and it's down at the 23-yard line.
They're running. We used to call it the student body, but this is going over tackle.
Yeah.
But they're pulling also the guard from the opposite side of the play, and him and Manis and anybody else is leading through that hole for Ayers.
Tanny now on the carry. Tanny a nice stop down there by number 8, Tillett, where that play would have went for more.
Pickup of 2. Reichert, number 3, into the lineup for the Tornadoes. Garcia in for Southern.
Zarkowski goes in motion, but this is a keeper by Ayers. Ayers down inside the 20-yard line, down to about the 17-yard line. 33 on the stop down there is Henry. It's going to bring up a third down and about 5. .353 remaining in the first quarter. The Red Tornadoes are driving. They trail 7-0. And again, Ayers on a carry. Ayers breaks loose,
nice.
And Ayers will go inside the 10, and there'll be a face mask penalty at the end of it.
Garcia making the tackle that time, along with Wilk.
So he's inside the 10, but we'll have the face mask penalty. I'm sure that's what it was.
You can see John
There
Ayers
it is.
putting the afterburners on a little bit. He had his hand on McCracken's back as they were going through the line. He was waiting for Manis to go either right or left, and he was going in the opposite direction.
So they're going to mark the ball down at the 4-yard line. It'll be first and goal from the 4 for the Red Tornadoes. And after they marked off the penalty, which no matter what would have been only half the distance to the
right.
goal line because it was inside the 10-yard line. Ayers keeps it the other way, makes a cut inside. Ayers still on his feet. Touchdown. Red Tornadoes at the 3:28 mark of the first quarter.
Excellent drive by the Tornadoes. one or two penalties, but then they came back and picked up the first down. Nice run by John Ayers. I think Southern was sort of looking for him to break it to the outside, but then he cut back up off tackle.
Mangiapane in to attempt the extra point out of McDonald's hold. Snap is back. Mangiapane puts it up, and it is good. So the score now 7-7 at the 3:28 mark of the first quarter. And the Red Tornadoes on a very impressive drive down the field. The Southern Tigers, on their hand, scored on one play, the first offensive play they had.
Well, I'll tell you what, I was impressed with what the line did, how the blocking. I mean, there was some linemen down 5 yards still blocking, and we haven't seen that in the last game. We've seen it against Loyalsock. I have to tip my hat off to Manis, number 47. In the last 5 plays, he led up through the hole and blocked the linebackers and did a great job.
Fleming goes deep along, this time with a different guy down there. That looks like 22. Hop is the other, or 22 or 20. Is that 23? Is that Garcia? It's hard they can't read their numbers there.
That might be Garcia.
Could be Garcia. I'm not really sure. Fleming is the guy for sure, but I don't know if that's 22 or 23. Garcia, 23. Okay. And Mangiapane set to kick off. Scribs it down the middle this time. It was picked up, and he's going to be stopped right where he picked it up at the 33-yard line by a host of Red Tornadoes.
Zarkowski, 31 in the initial hit that time.
34, the guy that picked it up was Manley. So it's 1st and 10, Tigers.
And Widener, Shane, number 28, making the stop. Now again, this defense has to stay home. They can't be chasing the fakes, and although there was no fake in that touchdown.
There wasn't much of a fake on that one. I mean, that was just I'm really not sure how to describe that run, but it was a touchdown either way. Ends it inside. This is Garcia this time. Garcia runs through.
Look at this again.
This is unbelievable, folks. Another touchdown.
Plays.
A 63-yard run by Garcia into the end zone. The Red Tornado defense again back on its heels. A touchdown. Here's
Went
the tackle.
to the outside.
The tackle here, though, right there, that tackle missed is what sprung him. And we couldn't catch up with them after that. And just like that, they're on the board again. Hoffman in to attempt the extra point. He puts it up, and it is good. So it's 14-7 now in favor of the Tigers at the 3:11 mark. A lot of scoring in the last 10 seconds here. So Red Tornadoes will go back on offense.
When you take a look at that play, the whole right side of Southern's offensive line, all they did was set up a shield, blocked everybody to the hash mark, and Garcia just took off with the one missed tackle, and that's all you need.
The Red Tornadoes have got to get more aggressive. They've got to start moving to the ball or flying to the ball. They're not doing that. He didn't do that last week, and they're not doing it this week. So it takes the Red Tornadoes about 10 plays to score. It takes the Southern Tigers one. It's going to catch up with you sooner or later. All right, Hoffman kicks it off. Going to go to Tanny again. This is a deep kick down to the 5-yard line. Tanny mishandles it originally, and now he has to scramble, and Tanny's going to be brought down at the 10-yard line by almost everybody from the Tigers. I said Kricky was the ball carrier. I'm sorry, they switched positions. That was Karicki. Karicki's also a freshman, or Karicki's a sophomore. We saw him as a freshman
Yep.
last year. And they're working him into the lineup more and more as the year goes on. He's the cousin of last
Kyle.
year's Karicki.
Ball spotted on the 11-yard line. First and 10.
So it'll start 1st and 10 from the 11-yard line now. And it's going to be Zarkowski, and Zarkowski has a quick opening there, and Zarkowski will take it up over the 15 to about the 17-yard
Pick up
line.
a tough 5 yards because he carried a few guys with him that time.
Stood up on a play by number 28, Cal
Halliday.
Halliday.
Gosminski in on that tackle.
That's a 6-yard pickup. It's about
Yep.
2nd and 4, we'll call it.
6-yard gain brings up a 2nd and 4.
Tanny on the handoff. Tanny looking for some blockers.
Nice.
Tanny still on his feet. And Tanny will pick up the first down at the 23-yard line.
That's the best I've seen Tanny use his blockers so far this year.
Henry on the stop down there along with Young. So it's 1st and 10 now.
Ball on the 24-yard line. First and 10, Big Red.
High snap. Ayers keeps it.
Nice
Makes
move
something
by,
out of it.
I'll tell you what, nice move by Ayers. Up over his head, and there was actually a natural hole that was made on the left side of the center, and he took it up through there.
Gains 2 on the play. It's 2nd and 8. Reichert will come into the lineup now. Wills comes out. Ayers rolls and throws. He has Tanny, and Tanny couldn't. He just throw too hard. Tanny could not hold on to it.
He had it on his fingertips for about 3 steps, and the ball just carried out of bounds then. Blitz
Ayers
coming by
rolls.
Southern.
Looks downfield. He has Reichert,
Oh.
and Reichert catches the ball,
Yeah.
and he's inbound.
And I'll tell you what, he kept both feet in bounds that time.
Nice catch by Reichert. He really had some presence. Here you see the replay. He had some presence where he
Damgard,
was.
number 6, was covering.
Watch the end of this play here. You'll see him watching and stays inbounds with both feet. And that's the only place you could have thrown it that he would have caught it
Yeah.
without Damgard getting in the way of it.
Pass away brings the ball to the 33-yard line. First and 10, Red Tornadoes.
John Ayers doing a great job eluding the pressure because they were blitzing both linebackers that time.
Ayers on a keeper.
Ayers
breaks
gets
loose
through.
and Ayers down to the 35-yard line, stopped by
Wilk.
Wilk.
Tackle on play by number 2, Tegan Wilk.
Again, Harrison Reese, number 79, doing some great blocking down there. 56, Krakowski. Brandon Boris, number 70, to tackle on the left side. And of course, Billy Anderson, number 75, the center.
Fakes it to Zarkowski. He looks downfield,
look at-
and he has Sherrock. And
Oh!
that's going to be a penalty
Yep.
against the Southern Tigers. Pass interference against Sherrock. Sherrock was down at the 5-yard line where it happened. So we'll see where the penalty ends up at.
I'll tell you what, the dive play to the center froze the two linebackers right in one spot, and both tight ends were down the field, and both of them were open.
It's hard to account for tight ends ever, and then you send both of them out after you're being – it looks like everybody's blocking. Here you see the penalty at the last minute, and he really had no other choice, to tell you the truth. Otherwise, it would have been a touchdown. So it's 1st and 10 from the 19-yard line now for the Red Tornadoes. This is Ayers on a keeper. Ayers following all of his blockers. Ayers still going strong, and Ayers down to the 15-yard line.
And again,
brought down there by number 9, Michaels, and Young.
Great blocking. Krakowski, number 56 down there. Brendan Boris, number 70. And, of course, Harrison Reese, number 79.
That's the end of the first quarter of play here at the Silver Bowl. With the score, the Southern Columbia Area Tigers 14, the Red Tornadoes 7. I think at halftime, folks, we're going to have an interview with the superintendent of schools here, plus the band director, one of the few places that ever happens. And he's going to be talking about a fundraiser effort that the band has. So I hope we have him at halftime and we can talk about that. So that's something to look forward to. Now, the Red Tornadoes, this continually amazes me, the single wing, the plays that come off of a single wing.
Right.
There's probably 6 plays that you run off a single wing, but you never know what they are. And then when you see that quarterback and he's following 5 guys through the hole, that's the thing that always amazes me about this offense.
But you watch Tanny and John Ayers, and like I said, Manis is blocking superbly out there. And both of them are following him and the guards up through the hole.
2nd down, and it's a inside
reverse
handoff to
Tanny, and
Tanny takes it into the end zone, touchdown.
They all keyed on Zarkowski and Ayers that time. Tanny comes off to the left. It looked like Manis and also Harrison Reed were leading the blocking to the left side of the line, and they score.
Mangiapane in for the extra point. See if he can tie it up. Snap is back. Mangiapane puts it up, and it is good. So he's perfect on the year now. That's 8 for 8. The score tied at the 11:53 mark, 14-14. But unfortunately, now they have to kick back to the Tigers. And that has not gone well so far for the Tornadoes tonight. 2 plays, 2 touchdowns for the Tigers. And the one thing about the Tigers, their offense is well rested. Their defense is taking a wearing here.
Yes, they are.
2 big, long drives by the Red Tornadoes kept them on the field on a very hot night here at the Silver Bowl. So we'll see if that has any effect as the game wears on tonight. We saw that with Loyalsock as the middle of the 3rd quarter. It was truly as if they hit a wall and just really were tired out. I doubt that a Southern Columbia team is going to have that problem, to tell you the truth, knowing Jim Roth as well as I do. All right, Mangiapane gets set to kick off. He intentionally squib kicked it down. They don't want to kick it deep, I'm guessing, from just what I'm looking at there. You don't want Fleming or Garcia to get it. So they hit the middle row there the last time.
You see Fleming is itching his way up.
Same kind of kick, only this time it goes over Garcia's head. He picks it up down inside the 10-yard line, and now he's going to head to the sideline. Garcia making a nice run out of it as he'll be run out of bounds finally. Down around the 14-yard line would be 1st and 10. It bounced right in front of him, took a bounce right over his head. Very hard. Here you see the replay. Very hard to to gather this
judge
ball
that.
in. Look
Yeah,
where
you're right.
And right there,
You're
you
right.
see how it took a weird bounce right over his shoulder. He did a good job of recovering and staying in bounds, and then made a little bit out of it. So they placed the ball at the 15 yard, 15 yard. Right. 15, 16. All right.
Zarkowski
16.
Playing the the defensive end position.
Well, let's see if they can get past the first play. That's Thomas.
Garcia again.
No, that's Thomas, I think.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
Thomas, 26. Big play.
Like we're afraid to tackle. You know what I mean? Put a shoulder in and hit somebody.
Two teams running a version of the wing T here. And there's more offense than you can account for. Garcia this time. Garcia tries to go outside. This time McDonald tries to corral him, and he does, but he picks up about 8 yards in the play out to the 30.
They're getting around
yard line.
They're getting around the ends, and that's going to hurt you.
Ayers and McDonald on the stop. But again, it was 8 yards downfield. It's 2nd and 2.
Krakowski, 56, in to the lineup.
He blitzed right up in the hole and missed him. And he carries the ball over the 45. He's out to the 47-yard line.
Krakowski makes the tackle that time, but has to come off. His helmet came off.
Lost his helmet. So he goes out. Chapman goes in to take his place. And it's 1st and 10 from the 47-yard line for the Tigers. The Red Tornadoes still not able to stop this Tiger offense.
Chapman goes in at that defensive end position.
Garcia on the carry. Garcia looking for some yardage there, and he'll pick up about 5 on the play that time. Number 7, McDonald on the stop.
on the stop.
Garcia on the carry. Brought down by Tommy McDonald.
Logan Wills goes back into the lineup.
It was like a punching match between two heavyweights on offense here.
2nd and 5.
Oh, big hole that time.
That's Thomas on the carry, but there's a penalty flag down. If they
Thomas
don't learn
still
to tackle,
going.
this is going to be one of the longest games in history if they can't learn to tackle here. They're just not tackling him. Boris finally makes the stop. There's a penalty flag back at the 46-yard line, which will go against the Tigers. But the tackling is just unbelievable right now for the Red Tornadoes. The holding call against the Tigers happened right in the middle of the line there, so you knew it was coming back. It was a 2nd and 5 from the 47, so they'll mark the penalty off from the spot of the foul, which was right at the line of scrimmage, actually. So they'll mark the 10 yards off, and they're back at the 37-yard line. And it'll be a 1st and about 15 or so.
Should
yeah,
be.
1st and 15.
Penalty brings the ball back to the 33-yard line. We're on the 2nd and 15.
First pass of the game for Hollenbach, and he threw it a little bit too hard. He was trying to hit Cam Young in the flat, but he couldn't do it. So it's 3rd down and 15 now.
And that was just a short, flat pass. Even if he would have caught it, he would have only
wouldn't have
picked
gone
up
too
a
far.
few yards. Harrison Reese, number 79, back into the lineup for the Tornadoes.
Hollenbach goes back to pass again. It's a long pass. He's trying to hit his receiver. That's
And does.
Fleming. I don't know if Fleming was in bounds or not, and he
was.
was.
He was in bounds.
All the way down at the 26-yard line. It's 1st and 10 Tigers. And for a second, I thought the Red Tornadoes were in danger of stopping the Tigers, but what a catch by Fleming. So 1st and 10 Tigers.
Nice pass by Hollenbach, too. He really.
Yeah, yep. Penalty flag on the play. I'm not sure who that's going to go
I don't
against,
know.
to tell you the truth.
It looked like Southern had moved.
I'll wait and see that
Yep.
one. Yeah, false start. This will be 1st and 15. Ball back to the 31.
And they were going for a pass on the right side of the offense that time. It was just straight down the field. That was Young.
Garcia on the carry. Garcia knocked down about the 27-yard line.
John Ayers that time in on the
Ayers
hit.
and
Reichert,
yeah,
number
Reichert,
3.
McCracken in there too. So they're back. It's 2nd and 12 now from the Red Tornado 27-yard line. 8:39 remaining in the second quarter. It's 14-14.
You got Fleming out here on the left, the wide side of the field.
Penalty. And that one's usually an encroachment penalty. It came before anything could have happened. So either you lined up in the neutral zone or
Motion.
you moved. And somebody, boy, that was the quickest move in history there.
Well, somebody might have got down in position and picked up their hand because it had to come from the line.
Yeah. That came really quick though, and I didn't think they got themselves set right yet. So it brings up a 2nd down now and 17 from the Red Tornado 32.
Pass.
Hollenbach back to pass. Looks downfield. He has a receiver wide open. That is 33 for them. That's Garrett Henry. Down at the 15-yard line, and that is enough for a 1st down.
Tackle made by Cuff that time, number 32.
So 1st and 10 from the 15, right exactly on the 15-yard line.
Garcia to the right.
Again, nice block by Thomas that time.
Look
Garcia
at nobody wants to tackle him.
They can't bring him down. They just can't bring him down. He's down to about the 1-yard line. It'll be 1st and goal from the 1.
He ran through 3 people that actually hit him.
Get a nice initial block by Thomas at the line. That's where it began at, and that was a nice block. But he's inside the 1-yard line now. 1st and goal. Garcia, and let him take it in for the touchdown. So at the 7:30 mark of the second quarter, it's 20-14 in favor of the Tigers, with Hoffman's kick to come. Hoffman puts it up. It was almost blocked that time, but he puts it through. It's good. It's 21-14 Tigers. So neither defense has an answer for the other's offense.
No, that's for sure. Tell you what, Hollenbach sits back nicely in that pocket and throws a nice ball out there.
Yeah,
you know,
he does.
And he's only a sophomore.
Yeah, he's a transfer from Lewisburg, I believe.
Lewisburg.
Yeah. Yeah.
Prior to halftime, to get your spot to unlock the ball. Winning ticket numbers. Ticket number 1, a white ticket, 697-7507. Again, first winner, 697-7521. Second winner, 697-7521. And our third and final winner, also a white ticket, 697-8450. 697.
All right. Hoffman says he's ready.
Please report to the main gate to get ready to unlock the ball. Hoffman, the kick for the Tigers.
Tanny and Cricky deep for the Red Tornadoes. This one's going to go to
Deep.
Cricky at the 15, or Tanny at the 15. And Tanny makes a nice run, and Tanny takes it up over the 35-yard line to the 36-yard line. We first and 10 from there. 84 on the stop down there. Jeff Akey. Aki or Akey, I'm not sure how you say that one. I'm sure I said it wrong, whichever way, but that's who made the tackle either way. And I don't know if it's Aki or Akey. He said it, the public address announcer said Aki, I said Akey, so I don't know on that one. But he knows he did it. So first and 10, Red Tornadoes from their own 36-yard line. They trail once again, 21-14. There's on a design keeper. This time, I said he was almost stopped at the line of scrimmage that time, but picks up about
Max Tillett hits him in the
play.
backfield. Slowed him down a little bit.
Chicatano on the stop for the Tigers, number 36 there. That's Tony's grandson. Give him 3 yards on the carry. It'll be 2nd and 7.
Tanny to the right.
Tanny's going to pick up the first down. Tanny's still on his feet. Tanny's still on his feet, and Tanny down to the Tiger 35-yard line. Cameron Young on the stop.
Max Tillett was the last one to hit Tanny. Tanny had a head of steam. Some great blocking on the right side of the offensive line. Looked like numbers 72, Colin Herb that time. Nice block downfield.
They move the tight ends back and forth now in the formation. And it's Tanny again, same play. Tanny looks for some field, and he has an open field, and Tanny run out of bounds around the 14-yard line.
Right there.
It'll be an unsportsmanlike penalty against the Southern Tigers down there. It was Wilk on the penalty call. So penalties also hurting the Tigers tonight.
Yep.
So he was actually out of bounds right around the 14 or 15-yard line where they marked the ball out. The penalty
puts it on the what?
Let's see,
7.
I don't know where the penalty's going to go to. The penalty's down at the 7. You're right. So it'll be 1st and goal from the 7. Zarkowski in the backfield next to Ayers, but Ayers on a design keeper again. Ayers still on his feet. He's inside the 5-yard line, down to about the 3-yard line.
Nice shuffle move by Ayers that time. He was going to the right, but he saw, who was that? Brennan Boris, number 70, and he just takes a shovel step to the left side and picks up some extra yardage down to the 3.
Zarkowski in the backfield next to Ayers. This is a handoff, an inside handoff to Tanny, and Tanny's still on his feet, and Tanny down at the goal line.
He's going to be close.
And Danny down. Tanny's down inside the 1 yard line.
Again, number 52 makes the tackle. We don't have him on our program.
So 3rd down and less than 1 for the Red Tornadoes from the inside the 1 yard line.
Ball is inside the 1 yard line. 30 ball, Red Tornadoes.
And they stack that line defensively. Everybody's up.
Ayers on the keeper, and Ayers will take it into the end zone. Touchdown, Red Tornadoes.
The great thing about Ayers that time, he kept real low to the ground. Manis and Tanny were leading the blocking and gave him enough room to dive towards the ground and over the goal line. With 4:42 left.
Both of these defenses being savaged tonight by
Yes.
the respective offenses. It's just unbelievable. Long count on the snap this time. Mangiapane puts it up, and it is good. It's 21-21. And now,
Well, if you like offense,
yeah, if you like
this
offense,
is
this is the game you
for
want to be
man.
at. You're seeing it all tonight. No defense on either side of the ball,
Nope.
but lots of offense.
This is the best I've seen John Ayers throw the ball.
Yeah, looks
You
good
know,
tonight.
So
We haven't seen Hollenbach throw that much, but when he
no,
throws,
but
he's
he's
pretty
doing
accurate.
a great job also.
Remind everybody here tonight, of course, you're watching this game on a Wednesday night, Supper Club tomorrow night. Don't want to miss that. It's a great time. We truly, Coach Dara really does a nice job with Supper Club and tells you all about the game before, all the little inside notes that maybe you didn't catch or see, and again, it gives you a rundown of what the next game will be. And of course, the next game doesn't get any easier for the Red Tornadoes as they travel to Montoursville and the Warriors. But if you can make it down, I'll tell you, it's $5. You can order off the menu, or you can get the meal that we eat, and that's another $8, so it'll be $13 altogether. We had baked rigatoni, one of my favorites last night.
Oh, really?
Yep. So you can't go wrong. So you get a chance, come on down. All right, Mangiapane set the kickoff. Unfortunately.
They pulled Fleming back now, you see.
Yep.
Yeah, Fleming was up around the 30-yard line last time.
Going to go short this time. And a nice play
Manning.
by Manis McCracken that time. 34 on the carry for the
Manley.
Tigers. So it'll be 1st and 10 Tigers at the 40-yard line.
Ball spotted on the 40-yard line. 1st and 10 Tigers.
No punts in this game yet. Nobody got
Nope.
really stopped in this game yet.
The punt.
All right. And it's Garcia, the same play. And
Look at, nobody wants to tackle him around the ankles.
unbelievable. Out over the 50 to the 49-yard line. It's 1st and 10 Tigers. And it just keeps getting uglier for the Red Tornadoes on defense.
Harrison Reed, number 79, goes in at the sort of nose guard position on defense. They continue to run Garcia to the right side. That was about the 5th or 6th carry he had that way.
That's going to be Young, and Young is stopped right at the line of scrimmage that time. That's McCracken
Brendan-
getting off along with
Brendan
Hood.
Boris makes the initial hit to tie him up a little bit.
They have
and
a penalty on
McCracken comes
the
over.
field. A late penalty in the defensive backfield, and it's going against the Red Tornadoes. I didn't see it because I was watching the play at the line of scrimmage, so I don't know what happened to who down there.
They threw it on the left side of the defense.
Again, a
personal.
foolish penalty. What is that penalty?
Personal foul. The play actually went to the left side of the field towards the bench of the Tornadoes, and the play was 15 yards, 20 yards off the line of scrimmage, all the way over in front of Southern's bench.
Ball's down at the 34-yard line of the Red Tornadoes. It's 1st and 10 Tigers. This is going to be the
Thomas, 24.
See, that is Thomas. I don't think that was Thomas. That's Fetterman.
Oh,
That's the
Fetterman.
fullback that time. You didn't see the
Okay.
fullback run that much, but that's who it was. He takes it down to the 30-yard line. Gain of 4. It'll be 2nd and 6.
Fleming coming in with the play from the Southern side.
Stoppage of play, a penalty on the play. It's probably going to be a motion. It'll be a 5-yard penalty against the. It'll be second. It'll bring up a 2nd down and 11. Ball back outside the 35-yard line.
5-yard penalty brings the ball back to the 35-yard line. Will be 2nd and 11 Tigers.
3:06 and counting here in the second quarter. We're all tied up 21-21.
I would say this ball's going to Garcia, going to the wide side of the field, which is towards the Southern bench.
It's an
Double
inside hand,
reverse.
a double reverse to Garcia. Garcia can't get outside this time, and this time, the first time, the Red Tornadoes stop him right at the line of scrimmage. That's the second time now they stopped him on that penalty play at the line of scrimmage also. So it'll be
And that was a double reverse
Yeah.
behind the line of scrimmage, which is hard to see.
oh yeah.
But I'll tell you what, they played it well that time. They boxed him to the inside.
The timing looked a little bit off on that play. So 3rd and 11 now. Fakes it to
Pass.
Thomas. It's a pass play. He looks downfield for Fleming, and Fleming can't hold on. Well defended by McDonald, and it's, believe it or not, 4th and 11 for the Tigers out at the 35-yard line. Brace yourself for this, folks. This could be the stop. Tanny into the defensive backfield for the Tornadoes. Shane Widener also goes in. Widener, a freshman.
He's playing a defensive corner. They brought the defensive end out. Oh, there you go.
There's going to be movement on the Tigers on a 4th and 11. It'll be
That
4th
was
and
Young.
16 now.
Young number 1 sort of gives up the play real quick who was going to get the ball because he was going to streak down down the sidelines.
And 4th and 16, the ball back now at the Red Tornado 40-yard line. Now you know this is going to be a pass.
Yeah. They need some pressure on Hollenbach.
Straight drop back from Hollenbach. He
And
had
they're
some
going
pressure that
deep.
time. He's going for Fleming, and Fleming too high.
Yep.
And ladies
too high.
and gentlemen,
Too high and
the
too
Red
far.
Tornadoes have turned the Tigers away for the first time this half with 2 minutes remaining. The
On the-
ball's turned over to the Red Tornadoes.
On the 40-yard line. I'm surprised Coach Roth didn't punt the ball and try
Yeah.
to trap the Tornadoes back deep in their end zone.
Now, interestingly enough, they're playing man to man on Fleming.
Right.
They're putting a lot of pressure on McDonald to cover one of the best receivers in the conference so far this year, and he's doing a pretty good job of it. So it's 1st and 10, Red Tornadoes.
Exactly 2 minutes left in the first half. Game's all knotted up, 21-21. Tornadoes with the ball on their 40-yard line.
Sarkowski in motion, but it's Tanny on an inside handoff, and Tanny loose. Tanny down
Outside.
the sideline. It's going to take number 2 down there, Wilk, to take him out of bounds.
I'll tell you, Tanny is using his blockers to the best of his ability. He's waiting until the very last second, and then he sprints to the sideline.
First down at the 43-yard line of the Tigers.
Some great blocking by Brendan Boris that time on the left side of the line.
One of the things you're seeing Tanny do differently this game that is before he did the last 2, he's cutting to the outside instead of cutting back into the mess. Sarkowski on the carry this time, and he's picking and choosing his way, and a tough run down to about the 41-yard line or so.
Gosminski and I think 64 Stabinski
Pick up a 2. It's 2nd and 8.
blocked everything up. I think Sarkowski was supposed to go to the right side of the line that time. Those two stopped the blocking and made him turn back to the inside.
So a timeout on the field by the Red Tornadoes at the 132 mark. Ball on the Tiger 42-yard line. It's all knotted up 21-21. At halftime, remember I told you there's so many things happening here. At halftime, the Hall of Fame has honored the 1976 team, 10-1, the only loss to Pottsville. And they'll be here at halftime. They were I was out with those guys before the game at the Hall of Fame tent out in the Afar parking lot there, which we do at least once a year to honor some team. And well, it's always great to see those guys come back. I mean, it really is. John Lindenmuth was there. And of course, that was Bobby Zavaric, his team.
Yeah.
Emmett Kent was there.
Oh, was
Marshall
he?
Merarkey. Yep. Yeah, it was really a nice I mean, I can't name them all, but it was nice to see those guys. And they always say the 76 team was the best team that didn't win anything. And it was funny. It came down to a Monday night game that was rained out between Nord Schuylkill and I forget who. And it ended up in a tie. And because it ended up in a tie, Pottsville got the everybody was 10-1, but Pottsville got the nod. Tanny again. Tanny looking inside. This time the
No, not this
Tigers
time.
have him covered. He'll get back, loss of a yard on the play, back to the original line of scrimmage. So the Southern defense tightens up too.
Looked like Haupt, number 22.
1:15 and counting. And
Karecki and Sarkowski out. Down exactly 1 minute.
looks downfield. He has Shurock open, and Shurock to catch, and
And
Shurock breaks
touchdown.
loose. Touchdown! Wes Shurock.
Covered by Andrew Haupt, number 22.
That's a 57-yard pitch from Karecki to Shurock, and the Red Tornadoes are in the end zone with 31 seconds remaining. It's 27-21 with the extra point to come. And I was about to say both defenses are going to end the half on a high note as they finally made a stop, and they couldn't stop the Red Tornado offense even. I don't know where this is going to end up at, folks.
I don't
if
know.
Somebody's defense doesn't tighten up sooner or later.
Nice catch by Shurock.
Mangiapane in for the extra point. Puts it up, and it is good. So the score of the Red Tornadoes, 28. The Southern Tigers, 21. The first lead of the game for the Red Tornadoes.
Outstanding. Very nice drive that time. 41 seconds left. Ayers doing a great job passing the ball, too.
Yeah,
He just
nice throw.
Nice throw that time. Put it up in the air, and Shurock just goes up and wrestled the ball away from Haupt.
Now, Shurock, again, has a height advantage on everybody back there, and that's the way it is. So
But
you
you
get
know,
it high enough, he'll.
the thing is, you could see Sherrock coming off the line of scrimmage, and he went down about 15 yards and just started to bend to the outside.
Yeah.
Nobody picked him up.
Now again, it's the tight end thing. And it's not high school. It's high school. It's the pros. It's in college. The tight end blocks and blocks and blocks and blocks and blocks, and then boom, goes downfield when you're not watching him and catches a pass. So the Tigers are adjusting to this. Now you see Fleming as one of the up guys here as they try to get better field position here. And this is going to go right down at the 45-yard line. He kicked it right to, let's see when he turns around.
67.
That's 67 down there. Quinton. He's a sophomore for the Tigers. So with 40 seconds left on the clock, the Tiger offense comes out and see if they can do something before half.
You know we're going to air this ball out a little bit here. One thing we haven't been able to do is put any pressure on Hollenbach.
Well, he's taking a short drop, too. He's not giving you a whole lot to go out there. He hasn't dropped back at all. Takes a two-step drop, and he throws. They're going to hand that off, and that is Thomas. And Thomas cuts his field, and Thomas breaks loose. Thomas down along the sideline. McDonald was the last guy that could catch him,
and he's going to go in for a touchdown.
Nobody caught him. Touchdown, Southern.
Are you kidding?
It's just unbelievable to see the tackling that we're doing
or the
right
lack
now.
of.
It's just unbelievable. Watch this play. Here's the replay. Now, he does some nice running, but nobody makes a step towards him. I mean, do they not know he has the ball or what? You got to be aggressive. You got to step at him. So a short-lived lead by the Tornadoes. With 26 seconds left, it's 28-27. Hoffman in to attempt the extra point. Hoffman puts it up, and it is good. It's 28-28. I'll tell you, you go in at halftime, you're a Red Tornado. They don't have to talk about the offense and all, but they've got to absolutely bear down on this defense. No one is making a move at the ball carrier. And he cut across the entire formation to do that.
And trapped down on the 15-yard line and still crosses over the goal.
Wow. 28-28. And we're still not at the half.
No. And the thing is, Southern gets the ball in the second half.
Yep. We kicked to them. Although we had one stop.
That is true.
They didn't have any. We had one. Well, they had two. They had one, too, in the very beginning. That's right. No, they couldn't have had us. No, we didn't punt or anything. Nobody punted. Nobody's punter's been in the game. Often we kicking off once again to Tanner and Karicki. Going to kick this one to Tanny at the 19-yard line or so. He breaks one tackle. He's still on his feet. Tanny having a nice night tonight. And
yes,
Tanny finally wrestled down there by number 84. I'll have to say it again. Aki, one of them.
Aki.
We're going to go with Aki? All right.
Go with Aki.
All right. Well, I'll go with Aki. I'll go with you on that one. It's a simple name, and we're not sure how to get it right.
Well, Aki, I think, would have an I in there.
All right, we'll go with Aki. Could be Achi. Yeah. Hardest four letters we have tonight. And we apologize how many times we said it wrong. All right, 1st and 10, Red Tornadoes. They're on their own 37, 18 seconds remaining to the half. Penalty flag right off the bat there as Ayers on a keeper. Ayers breaks loose and Ayers downfield.
Doesn't matter.
And Ayers is still downfield, and Ayers makes a nice cut. Ayers still on his feet, and he's brought down by Fleming, but the ball's coming back.
Again, not enough players on the field. Somebody jumped on the, got on the field and set up.
The procedure penalty, we bring it back. It'll be a 5-yard penalty back to the 32-yard line. Nice run by Ayers, negate it. I tell you, he's going to be a tired guy at halftime.
Yeah, he is.
Five-yard penalty brings up a 1st and 15.
That's a sin.
That's a penalty.
That is the end of the first half.
That'll be the end of the first half of play here with the score all knotted up. 28-28 in an offensive display by both football teams. Stay tuned now for the Southern Band, which will be coming on here at halftime. And, of course, the halftime stats by Jose. As this game, we do have a wire down to him, so we'll be able to talk to him.
Here tonight, the Mount Carmel Area School District, in cooperation with the Enrollment Chapter of the Pennsylvania Sports Hall of Fame, is recognizing the 40th anniversary of the Mount Carmel High School 1976 football team. The 1976 Red Tornado team posted a fantastic 10-1 record, with the only blemish coming at the hands of Pottsville by the score of 34-29. It is still mentioned as one of the greatest ever played in MCA's historic Silver Bowl. The game featured several future All-State players, including MCA's Mike Ravinas and Pottsville's Dave Hopkins, and MCA's Bob Zavaric and Pottsville's Ernie Haynes, who both also played in the Big 33 game for Pennsylvania. In 1976, the Red Tornadoes, the Crimson Tide, and the Shamokin Indians all finished with 10-1 records and tied in the Southern Division of the Eastern Conference. The title was to be decided on a game between Berwick and North Schuylkill, who played on a Monday night at the end of the season to determine the division champ. Ironically, that game would also end in a tie, which awarded the title to Pottsville. Pottsville would go on to win the Southern Division and lose the Eastern Conference Championship to Stratton Central. Among Mount Carmel area's other notable victories was a 36-6 cold bucket win over previously undefeated Shamokin. The Tornadoes would average 30.3 points per game while giving up only 11 points per game. They were coached by legendary Daz Zimmerman and assisted by Al Santos, Jim Sheehan, Bill Greco, Andy Goodness, Glenn Gordon, and Gary Hoanek. They truly were one of the greatest teams to ever go in the red and white, but because of the one-and-done format at the time, were never able to reach the heights of modern-era football teams. Those of us here tonight from the 1976 team: Andy Goodness, statistician Jose Gonzalo, Rob Gergen, Ron James, Ed Jacko, Emmett Kent, Seth Mazer, Harry Prescott, current Mount Carmel area athletic director Greg Sakavich, Bob Zavaric, Bob Bullock, Jim Klaus, John Lindemute, Marshall Merarkey. At this time, we would also like to recognize the deceased members of the 1976 team. Calvin Henderson, Mark Natro, Mike Bergamo, Jeff Karpinski, Red Tornadoes. One of the great teams to don the red and white here in Mount Carmel area.
Okay, gang, as I promised, we're back here. We're still at halftime. And we have with us tonight Bernie Steller. Of course, he is one of the unique individuals in education, and he is the superintendent of schools and the band director. You do not get to say that very often, but you do with you. And Bernie, you're here tonight to talk about a fundraiser for the band, and maybe you can go into detail about what exactly it is you're trying to do here.
Well, what we're trying to do is we're trying to raise some funds to purchase a new sound system for the marching band. Sound systems and marching bands aren't often spoken about in the same setting. However, the trend today is amplification is becoming a major part of marching bands. And as I said in an article that I put on the schools and the band's Facebook page, Prof, many years ago when he helped me after he retired from Danville, urged me to get into electronics with the marching band, and I was resistant. He was, as we all know, a visionary, and he was right about this too, because if anyone saw Spirit of Atlanta when they were here rehearsing, they had a full-blown PA system, keyboard players, they mic'd some soloists, and it's definitely not the future anymore, it's here now. We currently have, the equipment we're using currently is very old. Some of it is kind of Dave McPhee's patching it together to keep it going. I bring some stuff from my own collection of electronics just to help out. And it's just, the kids just need to play through something a little bit better. It will really help the sound of the band and to modernize it and to give us a nice, the electronic portion of it, a really nice fat sound.
Why don't you tell us, when you say the electronic portion of a marching band, what are you talking about specifically?
Well, if anybody watches our shows on Wednesday night, you can see that we also have, besides all the brass, woodwinds, and percussion and color guard, we also have on the front sideline some mallet instruments. However, we also have 2 keyboard players, a guitar player, and a bass player. And the types of shows we do have a lot of rock and roll in them. This year, James Brown and a little bit of the Monkees at the end of the show, and it just wouldn't work out without the electronics. So we are very serious about this, and it's been quite a turnout so far, just 3-4 days, and a lot of alumni have donated. And
Okay.
we still have a long way to go. We're at around $900 right now. We have to get to around $5,500
Okay.
to get the equipment that we would really like to get. So,
Well, how do they do that? How do you contribute?
well, you could do it a number of different ways. All the funds are being channeled through the Mount Carmel Area Education Foundation,
Okay.
which is a nonprofit that you could the donation's tax deductible. You can either mail a check to the Mount Carmel Area Education Foundation at the school district's address, 600 West 5th Street, Mount Carmel, and just notate it in the memo section of the check. It's for the MCA band sound system.
Okay.
Or you could drop it off at the district office and just tell the ladies in there that they'd like to make a donation toward the band sound system. Or the easiest way is if you go to the school district's website and the foundation page, there's a donate page on there, and you could pay via PayPal, which is very convenient.
Right.
And we've actually received quite a few PayPal donations already.
Well, nowadays, that's what everybody does nowadays. The only old guys like me will drop it off at the school.
Well, we've had a good mix so far, so we have our fingers crossed. I'm gonna. I thank Mr. McPhee for giving me the opportunity to try to just remind everybody about this tonight, and I'm going to continue on social media to let everybody know, that they could still make those donations for
Well,
us.
you're thanking him, but you are the superintendent of schools, so you could have just ordered him. You know what I mean? I know you're being polite. Just kidding.
No, yeah. In this case, we would really appreciate if everybody that can would consider helping us out.
Well, and I want to mention real quick with the band, you have one of the best bands in the area, and hands down. One of the biggest bands. If you look at Southern out here now, not quite the same size. Many of the schools, very small compared to your program. Your program just keeps on chugging along. And you raise an awful lot of money the way it is with the concession stands and things like that. But it's an expensive proposition for a band this size.
Indeed.
And that's why, people say, well, how much money do you need? Well, you always need money, and this is it's good that you have a particular area you want to donate to. And I think that's why people know exactly what they're donating to, and when they see it then, that you bought it, and that's what they gave. It's even
Yes.
better. So I think that'll work out. I'm sure you're going to reach your goal.
Well, this year we're fundraising for a Florida trip in the spring, and we do our annual fundraisers that help put on the banquet, buy clothes for the kids, buy food for the kids, et cetera, similar to what the football boosters do for their kids. In addition, now we have this other task of trying to modernize our sound system. So yes, the fundraising never ends.
No, it's a big budget, and you got to keep rolling with it. People always think the school district pays for it. It's impossible.
No.
There's just no way you can do that. And people don't
Absolutely.
realize how much your people work to get all this money, to get uniforms and things like that.
Yes.
It's a big budget. So
It's a huge undertaking for sure, and the school district helps however they can. We don't, to be honest, the band program doesn't ask much because we do have a very active booster group that can do things for us, and the school district needs to devote what they can, their resources toward a lot of the academics and trying to pay our staff, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah.
So we have no choice but to fundraise, and we do it aggressively, and our parents are the best. They work hard.
no, I know they do. I can definitely tell you that. And I think you're going to hit your goal. I really do. I wish you a lot of luck with it. And thanks for stopping by and letting us
Appreciate it.
hear what we're doing there.
All right.
Okay.
Thank you, Warren.
You take
Thank
care, Bernie. Okay, gang, we're back once again after the interview with Mr. Stellar. We're going to go down the field to Jose down here. And Jose, quite an offensive display tonight.
From both sides. I mean, it's really been interesting. Totally not expected, but very pleased nonetheless. Let me get the stats because we're running late. 13 rushes for Southern for 245 yards. 2 of 5 passing for 48 yards, 293 yards in offense with 9 first downs. For Mount Carmel, 28 rushes for 163 yards, 4 of 9 passing for 110, 273 total offensive yards, 13 first downs. So whoever ends up with the ball, unfortunately, Southern gets the ball to start the second half, and we maybe could have had a stop before the half. It would have been nice, but we're in a game. It's a good football game.
It's a good football game. And again, you know, you look at both of these teams, but for the Red Tornadoes, what sticks out, and it absolutely sticks out, Jose, you have to see it, is the tackling.
Yeah, I got it. You know, we all have it. Yeah, you're right. And we got to do. They're in position. There's people around it. It looks like somebody's waiting for somebody else to make the play.
They're actually standing looking at him as he's coming out.
Exactly. You're right. And hopefully the coaches address that at halftime and see if we can get that fixed.
All right, we're gonna wait till the end of the game to talk to you about 600, I guess, because we're getting pretty close to kickoff here.
That's fine.
Whatever. So we'll do that at the end once we get the stats.
We've already had way too much made out
we'll
of that.
Just have a little bit more won't hurt.
Let's hope for a good second half here, guys. I'll talk to you later.
All right, Jose. Take care.
You.
All right. Okay, gang, we're getting ready to get the second half started. You heard the first half stats. A totally offensive game for both schools. Very little defense on either side of the ball. In reality, the Red Tornadoes had the only stop of the first half. And it's just been a very entertaining game. This one, again, as we said with Loyalsock, you may have to stop and pay $5 more when you leave because it's just one of those games with 28-28. It doesn't get better than that. So the key now, and I'm sure both coaches had to talk about this at halftime, was defense.
Yeah.
The Red Tornadoes not particularly out of sync or anybody. I mean, they just don't. They're not hitting.
Right.
They're not hitting anybody. They're knocking them down.
Here's the difference between the two. The defense for the Tornadoes, and you're right, they're getting trapped to the inside. They lack the speed. You can see that the lack of speed is one, and they're not tackling. But on the Southern side, I think the Tornadoes' offense is dictating. What they're doing.
I agree.
They're doing some great blocking through the line, some lead blocking up through. Now we'll see if Coach Roth had made some changes because Tanny is probably having his best game ever.
Absolutely, yeah, he is. He is. So yeah, it's just a lot of offensive stars tonight, not too many defensive ones. So we'll see how the game ends up. And I said if it's like the first half, it's going to be a great game to watch. The Red Tornadoes, as you said earlier, will be kicking off. So Southern will get the ball first, and so far that's not a good idea for anybody to have the ball.
No.
So it was great to see the 76 team out on the field. I know you guys saw it on the TV. I didn't speak during it, but you saw it. And it was fun to see Bob Zavarik. He was a big 30. They talk about him being a big 33 player. And Mike Bergamo, also big 33. So two big 33 players on the same team, which is unusual. But as I said, they were actually a very good team, losing only one game to Pottsville, and that was here. One of the best games, probably other than the Carlisle game, when you watched it here.
Right.
In a packed stadium that I still remember it. And we were ahead by a lot, and then all of a sudden they stormed back, and Ernie Haynes just had the game of his life and ended up, I think it was 34-29. They beat us. And I said 3 teams ending 10-1, and then it came down to a Monday night game. And ended up in a tie with I think it was North Schuylkill I think I remember who the team was, but they tied, and that gave Pottsville the tiebreaker because it was one and done, and it was just the Southern Division Conference, the Southern Conference, so the Eastern Conference, so it was one and done, and they didn't make it happen. So they always say it was the best team that ever did anything. All right, Mangiapane get ready to kick off. He's kicked exactly the same way all evening. I don't see that changing. The Red Tornadoes do not want to risk the speed of the Tigers in the backfield. And he does kick it deep, and he found a spot there, but there's a penalty, and the penalty's back at the 10-yard line.
motion.
How you could see that from the 10-yard line, I have no idea. No one
Well-
up here called it. So what would have been a surprise to the Tigers is not now. There was one open spot on the field, and he got it. He found it. So they'll go back 5 yards, and again, they're going to give the Tigers good field position
Yes.
either way.
So the ball's being kicked from the 35-yard line from the Tornadoes.
Kickoff will now be from the 35-yard line. Start our second half.
Now you're
Line's-
sort of forced into kicking it a little bit deeper.
Yeah,
or
you
as
can't
far
afford
down
to
as
scribble
you
it down
can,
now. You're right.
you know.
Again, the opening is at the 30-yard line over on the southern sideline. Again, because of the way they kicked in the first half, they have Fleming, and now Fleming's going to go that way. But we scrib it again down again. Takes a high bounce to Fleming. He takes it at the 28-yard line. Fleming looking to go around, and Fleming still on his feet and brought down at the
Koricki
42-yard line.
Makes a nice tackle on about the 41-yard line.
Yeah, 41. It'll be 1st and 10, and here we go. Buckle up your seatbelt.
Tigers take over on the 41-yard line, 1st and 10.
Garcia is in motion.
That's going to be the
42.
42 was not 41.
41.
That's Fetterman, the fullback. Yeah, we see him so seldom. We're not used to calling his number, but he's the fullback in that situation.
McCracken. Now that play was similar to what Mount Carmel is running. They put everybody up through the hole that he was running into, looking for some extra blockers.
Garcia. And Garcia will be stopped for a short gain. In fact, only a gain of about a yard, if anything.
Garcia, ball carrier, dropped down by number 4, Logan Wills.
Logan Wills makes the stop that time.
So it's 3rd down and about 3. Maybe 2, maybe 3rd and 2. Yeah, 3rd and 2. Ball's at the 49-yard line of the Tigers. Comes the other way. This is going to be Thomas, I believe.
Yep.
He'll pick up the 1st down.
McCracken's helmet comes off.
Ball carrier, tackle from behind by number 27, John Ayers.
You know, when you put those helmets on, they fit so tight and
Oh,
snug.
yeah.
Now you wonder how they keep coming off.
And if they get ripped off like that, that has to hurt your
Yeah.
ears.
Yeah. So he'll come out as the rule is that if your helmet comes off during play, you have to come out for a play. This is Fetterman again. And Fetterman is going to be stopped. Gain of about 2 on the play.
Pickup of about 2 that time. McCracken back in. Krakowski, 56, went into his position.
Gain of 2 brings up a 2nd and 8 for the Tigers.
Garcia on the carry.
Oh, he's got
Follows
a,
his blocker.
he had a lead
McDonald,
blocker there.
McDonald couldn't hold on to him.
Somebody's helmet comes off again.
Garcia, the ball carrier.
Well, that's
was
McCracken. Now he's going to have to
McCracken.
get it fixed somehow because you can't keep having your helmet come off. Something's wrong with it there. So he comes out again for a play, and they're going to have to look at that helmet.
Yeah, Krakowski, number 56, goes in.
It's 3rd down and 1. Ball's down at the 36-yard line of the Red Tornadoes.
3rd and 1.
Cameron, or that was Hunter
Yep.
Thomas on the carry. He gets
Ayers
the 1st
makes-
down at the
John Ayers makes the tackle.
Gets it at the 38-yard line. It's 1st and 10.
Keeper by
Keeper by the
Hollenbach.
quarterback, Hollenbach, and Sherrock will ride him out of bounds after a short game. You're not going to see that often. They don't run their quarterback. Not like Becker, they ran him a lot more than they do Hollenbach. Hollenbach's also only a sophomore, so it's
2nd down and 8. Pickup of only a yard that time.
2-yard gain brings up a 2nd and 8.
a timeout on the field, and that's an equipment problem.
Harrison Reese. Number 72, Colin Herb goes in. He's a freshman.
I'm not sure what we're doing with helmets here, but we definitely have a helmet problem going on here. Double reverse. Comes right at you. And there you see it. Touchdown.
Nobody.
Hunter Thomas as he, I was
Flag.
going to say, as he does something dumb as he goes into the end zone. That'll be a taunting penalty. It'll still be a touchdown, but it'll be a taunting penalty against Thomas. You just don't do that in high school. So again, another offensive
hit
scorer.
at least 3
Oh, yeah,
times,
yeah.
and people are just laying on the ground.
If he uses this film, he'll be all state.
Touchdown by Thomas is good.
I don't know if they assess this on the kickoff
Yeah,
or
they
what.
do.
Unsportsmanlike. Okay, against the Tigers. They'll kick the extra point and then assess it on the kickoff.
Personal foul celebration penalty against Southern Columbia.
I don't know. They're going to assess it on the wow.
Penalty will be assessed on the conversion.
I didn't know they would do that.
I didn't think so either.
Well, it's going to be a long extra point. The ball's out at the is that the 18-yard line, right?
Right.
So it's about a 35-yard extra point.
Yeah.
Well, Hoffman's in to attempt the extra point, a long extra point, none of his doing. High snap, and it's going to be a low kick, so it'll be no good. It was tipped at the line of scrimmage by somebody, and the score now, the Tigers 34, the Red Tornadoes 28 with 9:15 remaining in the third quarter. The Red Tornadoes prepare to go on offense. I'm going to say thank you, of course, as we do every home game, to our friends across the parking lot at Boyer's for their meal. Something new this time, we had pizza from Boyer's. And it was very good, 3 different kinds. There's not a lot left to be able to tell what it was, but it was good. Yeah, so you don't normally have supermarket pizza, but that's very good. And so again, we say thank you, as they have done for many, many, many years, providing the halftime food for the press box, not just for us, but for the entire press box. Hoffman lets her rip a deep kick down to the 11-yard line, and it's Tanny. And Tanny comes upfield, and Tanny's still going, and Tanny out to the 40-yard line. So a nice return by Tanny, stopped again in there by Jeff Ackey. So he's very active on kickoffs. I'll say that for Mr. Ackey.
Well, we'll see if Southern has adjusted at halftime.
Third quarter score, Marion Catholic is leading Fort Schuylkill 7-6. Third quarter score, Stevensgrove is leading Shamokin 24-20.
Swarkowski on the carry. Gain of a yard on the play. It'll bring up a 2nd down and 9.
Jeff Cox,
Cox on the
number
stop.
30, comes in for Southern.
Bell on the stop.
1 yard gain brings up a 2nd and 9.
So not much room inside against this Tiger defense. It's the keeper by Ayers. Ayers on his feet and a couple of missed tackles there, but a penalty into the middle of the scrum.
Holding Tornadoes. Ayers moved the ball all the way down to about the 48-yard line. It's a killer.
So the ball back at the Red Tornado 32-yard line.
2nd and 17.
Ayers back to pass. His receiver got knocked down. That was Wills got knocked down in the middle of the field down there. So he had nowhere really to go. There wasn't a lot of guys in that pattern. Tanny was the other guy out there. So Ayers gets a sack in the backfield and the ball back to the 30-yard line now.
And on Tanny was Garcia, number 23.
Well, 3rd down and 20. A long 3rd down for the Red Tornado offense here. Here's he rolls out, looks downfield. It's
Riker.
a long pass to Reichner, but it goes
Out
out
of
of bounds, and it's 4th down, and the Red Tornadoes will kick for the first time tonight. So the Southern defense stiffens, but the penalty didn't help. And the first punt of the evening for the Red Tornadoes.
Number 7, Tommy McCall, the punt for the Red Tornadoes. Back deep for the Tigers, number 4, Julian Fleming.
You have Young and Fleming deep at their own 40-yard line awaiting McDonald's punt. Nice kick by McDonald. Fleming has to let it go, and it's a great kick now as it rolls dead at the 26-yard line or so of the Tigers. So a nice kick by McDonald gets the Red Tornadoes out of a little bit of trouble, and now it's up to the Red Tornado defense to make a stop.
This is where they have to dig in their heels.
50-50 winner, it's a yellow ticket. Ticket number 158537. Again, 50-50 winner, 158537. You can claim your prize in the press box.
Garcia on the carry, same play.
And he's out to the races.
He is loose. Ayers, he's going to try to track him down, and he can't.
Unbelievable.
An 84-yard run from the line of scrimmage, and now the Tigers out to a 40-28 lead. Same play. They're just blocking it really well.
Yeah, they are. They're kicking to the outside and they're running. And I mentioned this in the first half. It's very obvious they're running to the right side of the offense. So something they had seen on the left side of the defense on films, and they're just taking advantage of it.
They're going to go for 2 here and to try to make up for the extra point miss on the last touchdown. Now they're going to have to hurry it up now because it's 5 seconds and counting on the.
And
they still now don't have a guy in. They're going to have to call a timeout. They didn't have enough guys in the lineup there.
Nope.
So they call a timeout, and first timeout of the half here, as they are going to attempt the 2-point conversion.
Number 61 in on the defensive side for the Tornadoes, Trevor Shooter.
All right, we're out of the timeout here. The Tigers get ready to go. So this will be a 2-point attempt by the Tigers as they missed the extra point in the last touchdown. And it's going to be Fetterman, and Fetterman's going to walk into the end zone untouched. So the score 42-28 in favor of the Tigers.
Yep.
7:02 remaining in the third quarter. 2 quick scores by the Tigers, and they've pulled ahead. Another deep kick down to the 10-yard line. And Tanny comes upfield, and Tanny looking for a block, and he gets one. Karicki made a nice block. Tanny still on his feet, and Tanny going to be brought down at the last second by the kicker, Hoffman. He saved the touchdown, maybe. And Tanny into Tiger territory down at the Tiger 42-yard line.
Here's the replay here. Tanny picking and choosing very nicely.
Nice pick by Karicki. Nice block.
Yep. And it wasn't a crushing block. It was just that he shielded him, and Tanny ran right behind him.
So good field position for the Tornadoes to start their second offensive possession. On a nice run by Tanny, who's having a very big night for the Red Tornadoes. Tanny following his blockers. Tanny still on his feet, and Tanny still on his feet, and Tanny down inside the 30, down to the 28-yard line.
Cradling the ball, protecting it as soon as he started to get into a little bit of traffic.
Watch the massive bodies that are making it. Look at the massive bodies that made the turn there. Oh, my goodness. So it's enough for a first down at the 27-yard line of the Tigers.
Tanny is just waiting to the opportune moment to make his cut either way with that massive red in front of him.
There's a keeper. Gain a couple of a nice stop down there by Tillett.
Nice delay by Ayers. Takes a step back and then right up through the hole on the right side.
Second down and 8. The Red Tornadoes all reading their wrists. It's amazing how things have changed over the years. And it's going to be Ayers once again. Ayers following traffic around. Ayers makes the turn. Ayers down to about the 17-yard line. He's going to be very close to the first down.
Again, Southern came up. That was number
Tillett again, 8
Tillett
on the stop.
came up from that
Here, this
corner
play will be
position.
coming right at you on the replay, and you can see the blocking there, and he did a nice job, and Tillett filled it in finally. So it's 3rd and 1 now. They put the ball at the 18-yard line of the Tigers.
Ayers
is not going to get it as he is blocked up there. Number 7, Bendis, was one of the guys right in the beginning of the hit there, along with Chicatano. And it's going to be 4th down. He actually lost a couple of yards. Back at the 19-yard line now. So loss of 1 on the play. We'll call it 4th and about 2. Sarkowski in motion, but he's going to give it to Tanny, and Tanny makes a nice inside
but
move.
he's not going to make
Tanny's
it.
not going to get the first down.
Nope.
The Southern Tiger defense has stopped the Red Tornadoes down at the 19-yard line, and they're going to turn it over on downs.
Yeah, it was an inside reverse that time to Tanny. Southern had some nice penetration in the center of the line and sort of knocked Tanny a little bit further back than what he wanted to be.
Well, just outside the 20-yard line where the Tigers take over 1st and 10. Thomas. And for the first time, maybe tonight, they stopped Thomas in the backfield. A 2-yard loss, McCracken on the stop.
Nice play by McCracken that time. Now, they ran that to the short side of the field.
Yeah, they don't normally come that way.
No.
Although, when they run Thomas, that's where he comes. He comes left, Garcia goes right. So far, that's what they've done all night. So it's a 2nd down and 12 on the 2-yard loss. Now it's going to be a 2nd down and 17 as the Tiger goes offside.
Three minutes and 34 seconds left in the third quarter.
Hollenbach back to pass. Looks downfield. He has his receiver. That's Fleming on the catch. Fleming still on his feet. Fleming going to rip it down the sideline. He's going to try to outrun Ayers.
And he
Going to try outrun Sherrock, and he will do both. And just like that, the Tigers are on the scoreboard again.
He was actually spun around twice on that run.
You can see the replay. 87 yards on the play. No, we we got lost there for a second, but we're coming back. There we go. We got the tail end of it there. That's after he's already gotten loose a little bit. Only Ayers, and you can see the speed that Fleming has, and we were warned that he was a burner, and he is everything of that and then some. It's now 48-28, the game getting away from the Red Tornadoes. Hoffman puts it up. It is good. It is 49-28 in favor of the Tigers. So we get a chance, we'll start talking about a couple things. Of course, you had Mr. Stellar on talking about the fundraiser for the band, and that's certainly a worthy fundraiser. Another new thing this year at redtornado.com is the booster, the Alumni Association. I would suggest those of you who are interested, those of you who are alumni, it'll tell you what you need to be an alumni. It gives you the parameters that are looking for an alumni for $20. You'll be able to get involved in the alumni, and it's pretty neat organization. I joined it, and they give some newsletters out, some inside stuff, some apparel, that kind of thing. And again, the Alumni Association then raises money for all kinds of causes, including uniforms and things like that. So, I mean, I know it sounds like a never-ending request for money, but quite frankly, it's the only way it's going to work in the state of Pennsylvania. Hoffman lets it rip, this time to the 15-yard line. It's Tanny once again. And Tanny looking for the stop. Tanny got the block that time, but a couple of other guys managed to follow in there, including Tillett.
Number 67, Quinton, also in on that tackle.
So it'll be 1st and 10, Red Tornadoes, 2:53 remaining in the third quarter of play. I think I just caught a breeze. I'm not sure. Pass play by Ayers. He's going to have to throw it quick. He finds McCracken for a short gain out to the 30.
Yeah, he's the relief valve
34 or
there.
33-yard line.
Pickup of a yard. Reichert and Shurock are down on the pass pattern, but well covered.
So the Tiger defense has stiffened here in the second half. They were unable to stop the Red Tornadoes at all in the first half, but they're having much more success here in the second half. Ayers in trouble. He throws it downfield to Shurock, and Shurock almost got the pass. Shurock is hurt as he was rolling. A Southern guy stepped on his arm. I saw exactly what happened. I mean, it was unintentional, obviously, but he's down on the field, so we have a timeout now as they go out and look at Shurock. And you can see his arm. That's exactly what he grabbed right away. The Southern guy was trying to jump over him, but he was rolling along with it, and he just ended up on top of him.
Well, let me tell you what. Ayers was spun around. He was in somebody's grasp, spun him around, and he threw the ball. And I don't know how he was able to be that accurate on that pass.
That means you're doing a lot of two-way playing and not a lot of substituting, and so when he gets hurt, you have trouble finding someone to put in there. Ayers looks to pass. It's a screen pass. It was going to Reichert on it was supposed to be an inside pass, well covered.
And I think they smelled that one right from the snap. They knew it was going to be a screen to the center.
So it brings up a 4th down and 9 and the second punt of the evening for the Red Tornadoes as their offense has begun to sputter. Well, Fleming and Young back deep for the Tigers. McDonald in for the kick. It's a fake to Tanny, and he caught it, but he caught it short of the first down, and that is going to be a real problem for the Red Tornadoes. They fake a punt, but Tanny can't pick it.
It was a good play.
Yeah,
it had everybody fooled.
Just didn't execute it quite as sharply as you wanted to, and it's now 1st and 10 Tigers from the Red Tornado 41-yard line, and that is not a good thing for this Tornado defense. 2:30 remaining in the third quarter. Garcia goes in motion. It's a keeper by Hollenbach, and Hollenbach breaks the line of scrimmage. Hollenbach still on his feet down to the 26-yard line of the Red Tornadoes where it's 1st and 10 Tigers. That's only the second or third time Hollenbach has kept the ball himself.
Yep. Picks up some big yardage there.
He's 6'2", 180, so he's a pretty big kid. And again, he's a sophomore. Going to go inside to Fetterman, and Fetterman got himself a head of steam, and Fetterman makes a nice cut, and Fetterman into the end zone, and we'll have a penalty flag, unsportsmanlike penalty against the Red Tornadoes. So the touchdown will be good. Red Tornadoes losing their poise now.
That's the second on that guy. Personal. Must be assessed.
Yeah,
assessed on the
because
kickoff.
it's lined up at the right spot, so they'll take it on the kickoff. Yeah, the last unsportsmanlike was on the offense, so that's why it was different, I guess. Hoffman puts it up, and it's good. It's 56-28 in favor of the Tigers at the 1:58 mark of the third quarter.
Southern Columbia Tigers 56, Mount Carmel Red Tornadoes 28.
So the Red Tornadoes imploded here in the second half, giving up 28 points in the third quarter, and he's still not over. All right. Hoffman gets ready to rip it. This one easily goes in the end zone because of the 15-yard penalty, and the Red Tornadoes will take it 1st and 10 at the 20.
Hoffman's kick goes into the end zone for a touchdown.
Tanny gets around the edge. And Lane
Not
can't
this
get the
time.
corner.
That
Not
was
anymore.
number
It's-
7.
No,
May-
Young.
Bendis.
One, I think.
One?
Is one, yeah. I think. Oh, no, Bendis, you're right. I
Bendis.
thought it was one.
Quarterback for the Red Tornadoes, number 13, Tommy Reisinger.
Look at it. Look at the uniform there. How am I going to tell that one? The tighter the uniforms got, the worse it was to read the numbers.
Oh, my goodness. Reisinger coming in as the quarterback.
With Tanny in motion. Hands it to Zarkowski straight up the middle. That is tough going straight up the middle.
Yep.
It has been all night.
Kowski, ball carrier, brought down by number 8, Max Tillett.
Tillett making the stop that time.
Zarkowski next to Reisinger in the backfield. And Reisinger
Keeper
on
by
a keeper.
Reisinger.
And Reiser takes it over the 20-yard line.
It looked like number 34 that time, Manley.
So is it 4th down? Yeah, 4th
Yep.
and about 8.
8.
So 4th and 8 for the Red Tornadoes and another punt situation. They'll let the clock run out, and that'll be the end of the third quarter of play here. A terrible third quarter for the Red Tornadoes with the score of the Tigers 56, the Red Tornadoes 28. So Ayers continues to stand on one knee down there, and I don't know if we'll see him on defense either, as McDonald's in the kick. There's a single back now at the 50-yard line for the Tigers. Nice kick by McDonald again, and it's going to be Young picks it up right at the 40-yard line, and Young, Reichert on the stop. So it'll be 1st and 10 around the 41-yard line of the Tigers, for the Tigers.
Tigers will take over 1st and 10.
And the Red Tornadoes will go offside. It'll be 1st and 5. Ball will go up to the 46-yard line. Thomas on the carry. Thomas trying to get around the end. And Thomas knocked out of bounds.
It looked like McCracken, number 47, makes a stop.
Fetterman this time, the fullback. And Fetterman down at a 40-yard line, about a yard, maybe 2 yards short of the 1st down. Reichert on the stop.
Reichert on a stop along with Colin Herb, number 72.
This time it's Garcia. And
Look like
Garcia
Sherrock,
may
number
get
11.
to the 1st down. I'm not sure.
McCracken.
And he does. That's enough for the 1st down if they mark it where they're putting it. 1st and 10 inside the 40-yard line at the Red Tornado 39. Thomas on the carry. Thomas makes a nice move.
Two nice
And Thomas will
moves.
pick up another first
down. Yeah.
Thomas, ball carrier for the Tigers.
It's a cuff on
Karicki.
the stop.
32 Cuff and Karicki, number 1, making the stop. Bruce Carl, number 24, comes out. Krakowski, 56, into the lineup.
Heelkirk is the guy from down. I knew if I thought about it long enough, it would come to me. Straight up
Straight
the
dive
middle this
play.
time, and that is Fetterman, and Fetterman is like a horse as he bears down inside the 15, down to about the 14-yard line, 1st and 10, Tigers.
Number 44, Jack Chapman, goes in on a defensive end position. Avery Demko, number 14, goes into the backfield, defensive backfield.
Garcia on the carry.
Nice tackle by Avery Demko that time, down around the ankles.
Tackle the play number 14, Avery Detko for the Tornadoes.
9 minutes exactly remaining here in the 4th quarter of play. Tigers solidly in control of the football game. Looks like Ayers is out for the remainder of the game. Thomas on the carry. Thomas looking for a hole, and Thomas will find very little room there. Chapman on the stop for the Red Tornadoes.
Number 44. Good play from the defensive end position.
Ball's inside the 10, down along the 7-yard line or 6-yard line maybe.
Trevor Shooter, number 61, goes into the middle of the lineup.
Shooter, one of the few seniors on this team. So there's 6, I think, altogether. He's one of them.
Jack Chapman's playing a linebacker position.
Right up the middle, and that is going to be Fetterman. And Fetterman puts it into the end zone at the 7:44 mark. An 8-yard, about a 3-yard carry, 8-yard carry. 8-yard carry for Fetterman. And we managed to make the fullback an all-state player tonight, too. He's run wild. Extra point attempt is good. It is 63-28. 35 unanswered points by the Red Tornadoes here in the by the Tigers in the second half here, as the Red Tornadoes implode it. So we'll see Reisinger and or Wills at the quarterback spot for the remainder of the game. For the JV game, they were interchangeable. They both played, I'm not sure when they decided one was going in and one wasn't, but Reisinger's the backup in the game now. He took Ayers' place. Tanny on the kick. Tanny straight up the field. Tanny still on his feet, and Tanny almost breaks loose, makes a nice
And
cut.
does.
Lane
Yep.
Tanny over midfield, hit a Southern Tiger
Zachman,
48-yard line.
14 makes the tackle on Tanny.
So the Red Tornadoes are putting a pretty good amount of different people in their offense right now. They can't put a complete new offense in because they don't really have enough guys, I don't think, for that to happen. So Reisinger's the quarterback. Karicki now the back next to him. It's Karicki in motion. It's a handoff to number 26 for the Red Tornadoes.
28.
Or 28, Widener, Shane Widener. Karicki back in motion again. This time we're going to pitch it to Karicki. Karicki makes a nice cut back inside, and Karicki will pick up the first down. Karicki down to about the 32-yard line where it's 1st and 10 Red Tornadoes. Both teams have substituted freely, so to speak.
Yes, extensively here. Poor McCracken still in on offense as the fullback.
And there's a couple of, well, again, there's a couple of starters because sometimes there's not a backup.
Balls on the 32-yard line, 1st and 10 Red Tornadoes.
Like Pastuca would be in there, but he's hurt. There's not. There's a dearth of linemen, really, when you only have 35 kids. Widener goes in motion. We're going to pitch it to Widener, and Widener, a freshman, makes a nice play inside the 30 to the 28. He's stopped in there by 73, Shankweiler.
Nice pitch that time. Coming out to Widener.
Also Heim on the stop, Tristan Heim, number 5.
4-yard gain brings up a 2nd and 6.
This time Karicki goes in motion, but it's going to be an inside handoff to Widener once again, and Widener shoved out of bounds down there by Julian Fleming.
And lead blockers that time. Trevor Shooter out in front along with McCracken and Jack Chapman.
Gain of 3 to Chapman brings up a 3rd and 3 for the Red Tornadoes.
4:40 remaining in the game. It's 3rd and 3, 63-28 in favor of the Tigers. Inside handoff to Widener again, and Widener's going to pick up the first down, and Widener still on his feet. Widener, a tough run. He'll go inside the 20 to about the 19-yard line.
Looked like number 4, Fleming, Julian Fleming making the tackle there.
He had Ross Wertman also helping out there, big number 66 down there.
Balls on 20-yard line, 1st and 10 Red Tornadoes.
Karicki goes in motion. They pitch it to Karicki. Karicki has to cut inside.
He
Karicki now
got the
back
corner.
outside. And Karicki still on his feet. And Karicki, touchdown. Red Tornadoes, a 20-yard run by Tanner Karicki at the 3:38 mark of the 4th quarter. 63-34 now. Mangiapane in to kick the extra point.
Number 99, Rosalina Mangiapane, on for the PAT.
Mangiapane did not make it.
Short.
His first miss of the season. So the score remains 63-34. I don't know what happened there. It was a bit of a high snap, but he got it down in time. So. Again, remember, go to redtornadosfootball.com and look for the alumni. It's right in the middle of the page, the alumni button. And when you, I think you hit the alumni tab, then you go to alumni button. And for $20, it tells you exactly how you join, who can belong, and all the money raised, of course, goes back to the kids in some fashion. So if you can give to that, give to that. And of course, don't forget the band, that's the foundation. They need about $5,500. So if you can give that, if somebody wants to be really magnanimous and give it all, that would be even better. Wayne? Sorry.
5,500, did you say?
Well, no, they raised some,
short.
so it's not quit 55.
Oh, okay.
How about you just check 2,500?
That sounds good to me.
Yeah, we'll have to find you as you left the country. Squibb kicks it down, and the Tigers will fall on it at the 30-yard line. Number 33 on the fall, Garrett Henry. He's a senior. So the Tigers will go on offense with a completely new unit out there, as the Red Tornadoes have a completely.
Yep.
They might have a completely new defense out there now. When I look at them,
yeah.
I don't see anybody with a dirty shirt on there. Even McCracken's coming out.
14, Avery Demko's in there. McCracken's coming out. 53, Jake Kolokas. 44, Chapman. Number 60, Chris Emmon.
Of course, Jake Klokish, your grandson.
Yeah.
We want to have full disclosure here.
Jared Stewart, number 76.
Number 3, the ball carrier, Nate Crowell. And Crowell on a big run. First down out to the Tiger 48-yard line. The quarterback is Justin Dirk, number 18 for the Tigers here.
Avery Demko in on that tackle.
Tigers taking their time. 2:29 and counting as Dirk brings them up. Hand off there to 32 for the Tigers. That's Ty Rodarmel.
Chris Emmon, number 60.
We had Chris Eamon last night at Supper Club. I'll tell you what, a delightful kid.
Oh, really?
He's also the guy that plays in the band at halftime.
Oh, there you go.
I mean, they're a very we've seen
Versatile.
it before, but never seen it really on the Tornado side of the team. We've seen other teams do it, and he loves it. Really a great kid. I'm talking about a personable guy. He was something to talk to last night. Very involved in a million things in the school too. Number 25, the ball carrier, Cole Potter. I think it was 25, yeah. Cole Potter. He's going to be stopped down there by number 14, I believe, for the Red Tornadoes.
Carmen Picarelli, number 57 in.
14 was Demko, I'm sorry.
Demko
was on the stop. I said his number, not his name. Minute 17 and counting as the Tigers take as much time off the 25-second clock as they possibly can before they snap. Number 32, the ball carrier, Ty Rodarmel again. Number 53, Klokas on the stop for the Red Tornadoes. You're allowed to call that when he makes the tackle, you know.
Okay.
Don't hold back now. We already got it out that he's your grandson, so you can do whatever you want now.
It's out there now, right?
Yeah, we had full disclosure.
God love him. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing.
This will be the final play of this game. Crowell on the carry. Crowell hard running inside, and Crowell will probably pick the first down up. He's around the 29-yard line, or right at the 30. I'm sorry, he might be a little bit short. It was a first down play, so the Tigers moved to their sideline. That, ladies and gentlemen, is the end of a football game here at the Jazz Dimnick Field at the Silver Bowl. The score of the Tigers 63, the Red Tornadoes 34. It was a tale of two halves.
Yes,
Wayne.
definitely.
And one half was a good half for the Red Tornadoes. One half was a terrible half for the Red Tornadoes. The Red Tornadoes, as I said, unfortunately, are going to move on to their next game, another powerhouse, Montoursville, with their star quarterback, Musina, and as usual, a host of running backs, as they're a punishing ground game too. So the Red Tornadoes are going to have to take it back to the drawing board defensively. Offensively, they don't have a lot to worry about.
Nope, I thought they did very well tonight. Their blocking was superb on the line and the backs. They were moving very quickly, pulling guards and tackles and up through the hole and everything. But defensively, again, questionable, number one, with the tackling, and two, I think with some of the speed also.
Yeah, speed continues to be a problem for and you can't fix speed.
No, you can't.
You can do a lot of things, but you can't fix speed. So they're going to have to look at ways to mitigate that a little bit, maybe. But again, you saw them get tired, and you're going to be tired when you're on the field as much as they were.
Oh my gosh, yes.
And it's not like you can just plug guys in. You can't do that either. There's just not a lot of guys. I mean, it's just the way it is. It's been that way last year. It'll be there this year. You lose Ayers towards the end there. Not that he would have turned the game one way or the other, but and what you hopefully hope there is that he's okay. Because if he's not,
seriously, I really do believe he was a little worn out.
Yeah, I think so,
I
too.
mean, as hot as it is here.
And there's no reason to get him hurt, in a game that already got away from you. You weren't going to win it. So just interesting game. It's probably the worst. I mean, again, it's the worst tackling game I may have seen in a very, 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 very long time. There's no two ways about it. You can't hide it. It is what it is. They're going to have to think about tackling, working on that a little bit, and see what they can correct that. It wasn't like they were in the wrong spot a lot of times. They just somehow were kind of standing there. It wasn't like they weren't moving enough. And it came back to haunt them in the second half. It really did, as they were really overpowered and blown out in the second half. So they'll drop to 1 and 2. The Tigers go to 3-0, and I said the Tigers move on their schedule. I don't know who they're playing next week. I should have looked and I forgot. But so the Red Tornadoes take that trip to Montoursville. Never an easy place to play. And I understand it's not an easy place to park anymore because that big field is now a big building.
Oh.
So I think parking is going to be interesting. We're going to have to be helicoptered and probably to the press box. And that's what I figure. I mean, maybe I could be wrong, but
You mean we're even near the press box?
Well, that's true too. We were only in all the time we've gone to Montoursville, we were only in the press box one time, and that was a playoff game. Every other time we're out. Remember the time it was out in the rain and the wind, and the tent blew over, and I mean, talk about a mess. But we're always on that top row all the time because the press box is very small. I mean, unless they've done something different with it, it's very small. So you don't know what you're in for when you get there. If it's inclement, it makes for a long night standing out there. Plus, trying to keep the cameras dry, all the equipment dry, it's not an easy task. But we'll let that play itself out and see what the weather is when it is. I see Jose is getting ready to put his. You noticed Jose has an armed guard now.
Oh, I know. I see that.
That's very interesting. Yes,
Mr. Carnuccio, Officer Carnuccio's down there with him.
If he had to pay extra for that, I'm going to ask him that. 'Cause
you mean? I don't think he pays for it. I think that's one of his perks.
You're kidding.
No.
What are our perks?
After 600 games?
Well,
are you kidding
all right,
me?
we'll give him that because probably a lot of autograph seekers and things like that too. So, but if they want to get this thing rolling down there, they're going to have to do it quick. Dave's holding the headset.
Yeah, Jose's
and he's not where Jose is.
Away.
Gotta get their attention. This thing's gonna go on forever.
Hey, Jose. Jose?
You said you have to
Jose.
Wait, here we go. Now?
Yeah.
You hear me now?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. All right, real quick. For Southern, 38 rushes, 499 yards, 3 of 6 passing for 135, 634 yards of total offense, 22 first downs, 63 points, the most ever scored by Southern against Mount Carmel in this rivalry. It now makes the last 5 years, which is a 5-year streak for Southern, 255 points for an average of 51 points a game. I don't know if there's anything else I can say about that, and they're young. Let's just leave it at that. For Mount Carmel, 44 rushes for 236. Not a bad night offensively. 6 of 14 passing for 121. 347 yards of total offense, 17 first downs. So we acquitted ourselves quite well on offense. I think we got worn down, and I think that's just the name of the game, period. Numbers versus no numbers.
Yeah, and we talked about that here. So we leave the frying pan and jump right into the fire going to Montoursville next week.
Yeah.
So it's just a tough schedule for a young, small numbered team, but that is what it is. Now let's get back to the important stuff here. There's an extra question.
Okay.
When did you acquire a personal armed guard?
You mean David here?
No.
No.
When you had a real
Officer Carnuccio.
Yeah, just hanging by, keeping the autograph seekers
Well,
away.
that was part of the original contract where
You were
it
right.
said after 600 games I would receive a personal armed guard.
There it is. I
Wayne
was
called that
correct.
one exactly the way it
Wayne.
was.
You know, now wait till you see what happens after 700.
Now,
We're
real
going to
quick.
get my own golf cart here.
Real quick. You got last week was your 600 straight game attended. This is your 601st.
Yeah.
Began 1968 with the Carlisle game.
66.
Or 66 with the Carlisle game.
Yeah.
Now, a couple of questions come to mind. One, when did you consciously think what you were doing, that you were trying to keep the streak? When
Well,
did it occur to you?
I don't think it came into my mind until the 90s. 72, I was going to miss a game. We played a Tamaqua game up there. There was lightning that night, Friday night. Not 72, 74, the 9-7 win by Tamaqua. And Joey, my good friend Joey, was coaching at Villanova at that time. So we had planned to go to Villanova, and I went, and we went, and I was going to miss the game. That's all. It was, that was going to be over. After the game, Joey and Coach Weaver, he said, "Yeah, the guys have a game." Yeah. And Kenny Diminick played, and we all jumped in the car. He said, "You want to go up?" I said, "Yeah, let's go." Jumped in the car. We drove up to the game, walked in the stadium as the kickoff was happening. So that was one that we saved. But when 95 came around and my son was going to play at Wilkes in 94, there was a Saturday game that I had already prepared that I was going to miss. So I didn't consciously think about it until that time. So we were around 3-something at that point or whatever. It never was conscious at that point, but that's about when.
So when now you become aware that this is starting to take a life of its own on, right?
Well, I don't know.
Well, can you remember back now from the 90s on, what was your closest call to missing a game?
The closest call was that 74 game. There was never, as you know, I'm a little superstitious. I always ride the bus, so make sure that I get there. I always come home with you guys, but I want to make sure that if there's something happens to the bus or anything else, I'm with them. So they can't play without me being there, whereas if I would have drove or dumped. So I sit in the left front of the bus, 41 years, that's what I do. And then we come home with the team. So there wasn't any close calls after that. I mean, I was sick a couple times or not feeling so well, but, it just never came across my mind that I should miss.
Well, 601 games consecutively is a giant accomplishment, but I would be remiss. The things you also do with the books that you publish, the keeper of the records, I've never met a human being in my whole lifetime where we're sitting at supper club and someone would say to you, "Who has the record for whatever?" And you can instantly tell you the name, the date, the team, everything. And I find that amazing, Jose. I mean, I just want you to know I find that amazing. But your commitment to both that, supper club since the inception of it, in fact, you were a Breakfast Club member, so that was the original one.
Yeah.
So you do that. The Hall of Fame, integral part of the Hall of Fame, and the workings of that. I don't think people who don't do that understand what the commitment is and what the love you have for this program is. And I just wanted everybody to understand that. That's a special thing that very few people have.
Well, I appreciate that, Warren, but I never looked at it as anything special. It's just something that I do. It's the same as when I worked at the pharmacy for 52 years. It was a commitment. It's what I was supposed to do, and I just went and did it. And that's the way I feel about this. And I thought they overplayed it a little bit. I'm not that I'm not appreciative, but I am. But all I did was go to work. I've said that to a lot of people. I just showed up for something, and you still get honored. And I said to the kids at the supper club that night that if they got anything out of this, if there's anything they're going to remember about the old guy, that they honored or whatever, it's that find something that you love to do. Find something that you really like to do and enjoy it. Commit yourself to it. Do it to the best of your ability and the hardest you can and the best that you can. And someday, something like this will turn out of it or whatever you'll get. And believe me, no matter what else, you'll get great satisfaction from it.
Yeah.
And that's about what I've gotten at over the years. And just to be around these kids and know them not as a number or whatever, know them as kids. And seeing these guys from 76, which ironically tonight was my first team as statistician. So it was good to see some of those.
Yeah.
And Bobby Zavarik, we've talked about it over and over. He's the inspiration for it all. You know, when he did the punt returns and whatever in my first game. And it's just been my privilege. And I will just say that again. It's been a privilege.
Well, it's been our privilege, too. And maybe sometimes the simplest things are the best. And I know I speak for the entire program, the entire community. And I'm just going to say thank you. Thank you for everything you did. And thank you for everything you're going to do still.
Thank you, Warren. I'm looking forward to 700 and that contract clause.
Yeah, me too.
It's
I'd like to
great.
see what it is.
All right.
All
Thank
right.
you, guys.
All right, take care, Jose. We're going to
All right.
sign it off here tonight. I am Warren Altamar. and Wayne Brokenshire and Abigail Clokas. This has been a sports presentation of WKMC TV, the broadcast arm of Mount Carmel Area High School. Good night.